I always like to talk about, why we smudged. I've been ahead, the smudge pushes, it's a repellent, it pushes away negative thoughts, negative energies. And I've been all over the world and I've seen it in Australia, they smudge everywhere you go. There's always an incense or something. I was even an altar boy in the Catholic Church and we smudged there too, during high mass, running around that and smudging around. So this is how we just kind of start, push all the negative stuff away. I put seed, that's the sage. Sage is a repellent and the of negative, and the cedar is all around medicine. It's a good for your lungs, good for everything, good cleansing. And then the tobacco is our thoughts and our feelings go into the tobacco just by touching it. And it's also, let's say, like when we do invocation, it's a magnet of our thoughts. So all of us, when we do when an invocation is going on, we also put our thoughts for our loved ones and the kids as well. So I'm gonna ask the Creator and the four directions in the heavens and the earth to accept this tobacco and to help us here to think clearly and straight and put thoughts in our minds so that we know what we need to do for the students to be helped and that everything goes good here. And koi pioneer pagazoma sema kia money do nagana said we oju dapin on a sema we chikang dago the young no ma pakana we kijik man ya igana si jik mina wa kikino ma gana guma me gaye kikino ma ge jigno ma we jimino sewa jigwar coach gewa we do kago da binuji of Nama, Misquagami was Aga, Egan Kikinoma, we go me go ma. Guy, money do a yawa, new denung, went on muck, Bob and Nung Shaw, Nung Ningabi, Nung Piwe, Nung Gaiginoa, only do me good check, Kapinagago, is it chigig, we joined Dago, see young the ma, going, Dago, see young in the ma, Asia, no key young in the ma, Misquagami was Aga, Egan, Kikinoma, we go me going in the ma. Minoan money do a yard and ma gijgung ma kingai minoan ma nibikang miss Quagami was aga yigan money dugan ma o dapin say ma we Jewish way wayne jimino chigan jiguai ko chigayang chi guai can name the moyang gay chigan jigana wayne dago zi what gia we do kudadi waga binuji no ma this Quagami was aga yigan geek no ma di we go me go. Miigwech.
Miigwech. Gekinu Amagate.
Okay, we'll call meeting to order 1:05 p.m. And Mr. Clerk, do the roll call, please.
Miigwech. Board member roll call, Mike Barrett, Chair.
Here.
Nicole DeJarle, Clerk. Omandria. Chris Jardine, Treasurer.
Here.
Robert Pemberton, Director.
Here.
Douglas Jack DeJarle, Director. Thomas Barrett, Director.
Here.
Tim Lutz, Superintendent.
Mandaya.
You forgot Tina.
Oh, Tina Stately, Vice Chair, the most, sorry about that, Tina.
Okay, now forum, summary overview of agenda, Superintendent Blue.
Chi Miigwech. Chair Barrett. After a brief review of my report, we will have two delegation messages. One from Dr. Eggers to discuss a parent support group here in Red Lake Nation. And one from Josh Jones to discuss the possibility of adding a sport or activity. After our allotted time for public comments and delegations, we'll review the finance report from Willie, as well as a drinking water report. After that, we will move into the consent agenda, including approving the minutes from the August 21st meeting. Then the board has one retirement and two resignations to approve today in the consent agenda, followed by an unpaid leave of absence request and two parental leave requests. We have 5 hires to approve, as well as approving the opening of 2 paraprofessional positions and 1 FTE position for the district in special education. followed by a request to approve, I guess I repeated that, one special ed teacher for the district. We will then close out our consent agenda with the current sub lists. There is no need for a closed session at this board meeting, so we will then move into the action items on the agenda. 2 items, including approving the list of bills and wires in the amount of $2,966,401.26, followed by certifying the proposed 2024 pay 2025 property tax levy at maximum. We'll then close out our meeting by looking at the next topic area in our new comprehensive strategic plan for Red Lake School District that we've been putting together over the past school year. Team English.
Hey, delegation, Josh Jones, here? No? Okay, we'll move on to Dr. Eggers.
Stand here, Michael. Fine.
No, anyway.
Thanks for having me again, Miigwech. I know you're busy people. I'm on the school board at Voyager, so I know what challenges you have and also what rewards you have too as a school board members. 2024 marks my 60th year in education, believe it or not. I know I don't look that old, but I'm getting up there. Sorry about that.
Was that before cell phones?
Yeah, right. And in those days, we didn't have cell phones. We had, I don't know what we used, but anyway, I just came about half hour before the session started. I was talking with, I still keep my feet wet in teaching. I'm currently teaching some teachers in Guatemala. And in Guatemala, we do everything in Spanish. And so that, and the teachers are all indigenous people. So, and next week I'll start teaching teachers in Ethiopia. And so that really keeps my feet wet. But wherever I go, I give them the message here from Red Lake. And that is that we can graduate 100% of our students. And it all started here at Red Lake. And whenever I make a presentation like this, and tomorrow I'll make a presentation to the Education Committee for the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe. And I always dedicate this to somebody, and this particular presentation I'm going to dedicate to a student that I had back in 1971 at Pine Point School in the White Earth Reservation, a student by the name of Harlan. And Harlan was a rambunctious student, very good student, but he passed away about 15 years ago. So whenever I think of Harlan, I think about I could have done more for Harlan. And also, of course, here in my Red Lake, I dedicate this to a lot of my people that I've worked with over the years, like Missy Cook and Judy Nettle, Jan Kelly, Thomas Filday, Stuart Jarlett, and many others. So, and what I'm here to do today is I'm not going to talk about 100% graduation rate, but I think I need at least to give you an update on how we're doing with that. You know, we're still not at where we should be, 100% graduation, and there are many times during the past 6-7 years where I thought, well, John, why don't you just throw in the towel, just give up? You know, can't be done. You know, we never done it before, not only here at Red Lake, but in Bemidji and any other community in Minnesota, United States, we just can't do it. Well, I'm in warrior country, so I know we can do that. And so part of what I'm going to do today is has to do with helping parents realize that they can help their students graduate from high school. And this past summer, we had a nice kind of a summit meeting at the Wells Technology, and Tim was there and invited a lot of leaders and community leaders from the area, and we came up with ideas on how we could do to help kids graduate. So we did that this summer. And then this past year, with the help of the Boys and Girls Club, we sponsored a dropout prevention hotline. And that's still in the kind of growing pains. We're not getting a whole lot of calls, but we do get some calls. And I appreciate the support from the Boys and Girls Club. So we're still working at that. And then this year, we'd like to look at how we can do to get more parents involved in this, because parents, you know, it really is a key to education. If we can get all parents to support their kids, well, we can graduate 100% of our kids. So what I'm going to pass around is just this, just a brief, very kind of an explanation of what this parent support gatherings would look like. And again, as you know, if you can have, every student can have a mentor, somebody that supports them, that pushes them through school, we can get the job done. And so this is what this is all about. The purpose would be to provide parents with yet another pathway to help struggling students find success via connecting with other parents and help away. So if we get parents together just to kind of help one another, that I think would help them, because I had a call, for example, this summer from a parent. I won't say which community, because that hotline, by the way, now is open to not only Red Lake, but also to other communities in the area, plus to other communities in Minnesota. And I had a call from a parent that says, well, you know, my child is having trouble in school and really don't know what to do. And so the first thing I started out with is, we're thanking them for the call, of course. And then I started off by saying, well, what have you done so far? You know, have you gone to the principal, have you gone to the teachers, have you gone to your friends and neighbors? And this particular parent really didn't know what to do. I mean, she really didn't know how to make that phone call or how to go to the principal or whatever. And so we can't assume that all parents really know what to do. You know? And so with this parent support group, we come together as a group and talk about, well, okay, my child's having trouble, what can we do? And so this is what the purpose of the support group would be, just to kind of be a mentor to one another. So we meet once a week. We give it a try for like maybe 3 or 4 months and just see what kind of participation we'd get. We're not sure the date yet or the time. We're thinking of the evening, and we're thinking it'd be at the Boys and Girls Club. We're not sure of the time, but then if it were at the Boys and Girls Club, parents could bring their children or also. And I assume that we'd probably have more participation with parents of older children, teenagers, because that's where the problems are. And so they could bring their teenagers to the Boys and Girls Club, and so we kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And so we just share hopes and concerns. We'd listen. It'd be nice if we could build a winning team. When I was teaching in New Jersey, in the inner city of New Jersey, in this neighborhood, we had lived in row houses, and there were about 30 families on one street, because the houses are very close together, you see. And so we formed block leaders, and these leaders would get together with the families on that particular street, and they would get together and share concerns, and not only about education, but everything else. And so if we could kind of form a team of parents that would be in a position to give support to one another, I think that's what we kind of like a team, like football team, basketball team, you know, we just kind of stick together. And then we just, we'd share what's going on, and then identify a next step. What could we do by the time we meet again? You know, do something, you know, just like we do in the phone calls. I always say, well, between now and next time you call, let's try to do this. And so this is what it'd be about. And we report the progress at the next gathering. So, and we also have occasionally a community leader might come and talk to the group just about the value of education, you know, the struggles that they went through. And that always helps too. So with that in mind, we're not sure when we'll start. I'm going to get together with Tom and Superintendent Lutz here and see if we can't pick out a time to this. And then you could spread the word like you would. I hope you would, 100% graduation rate, and I'll keep at it. And we'll see what happens. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to entertain any thoughts you have, questions about this.
Will this be the only place you'll meet?
Well, it doesn't have to be, Tina. No, it doesn't
like,
have to be.
Lima has a hard time coming over
Yes.
this way. Would you be able to
Right.
meet over there?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. That's what you want to. Yes, it's a good question, Tina. That line, there's no reason why we can do it. What I'm passing around now is this is what I threw out at the parades this summer. It says, "You will be jolly when you graduate from high school. Be sure and do it." Well, I had a Jolly Rancher taped on there, so that's why I got Jolly on there.
Oh, okay.
But it gives the hotline number. You know, I think the reason why we're not having a whole lot of calls yet, be nice if there were no problems, no concerns, right? That'd be great. But I think there are, you know, and the more people we have participate in this, the better we can do. So I don't think people really know about it, or they forget about it, you know. And I did ask the charity to put it in the newspaper too, this hotline number, so we'll see what happens there. So just spread the word about the hotline number. Yeah.
And Dr. Eggers asked us to put it on our website, so it's on our website. So I think we'll start getting calls maybe when we get about halfway through the year, when we ended the first semester, and then again towards graduation in March and April, May, when we maybe have a couple of students struggling, maybe.
Yeah, and if you're interested in being on the hotline, a call list that we would, that you would answer calls, that we operate from 5 to 10 every evening, 7 days a week, and we have a different volunteer each night. Tim is one of the volunteers. I'm one of the volunteers. We have 5 others. But if you'd like to be a volunteer to answer phone calls, you can do it anywhere you want, because you can be out in the lake and answer phone calls, or be in the theater and answer phone calls. So
I was on last night. I just remembered to log off so the next person can log on, because you only one at a time can be logged into the system to receive the calls. I have to remind myself on my calendar, log in, log on, especially the log out first, so that the next person can log in.
Same here.
So, are you? one of the
Any,
volunteers then, or-
Anything I can,
Not currently.
questions? Anything else I can tell you now?
Appreciate your efforts on this.
Okay,
Dr.
yeah.
Edwards.
Well, thank you for what you do to, help students graduate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys, John.
Careful there.
Be
Jeff.
switched on is, what a great idea, great plan.
We'll give it a try.
Yes. I'll see you there.
Okay, still no Josh Jones.
No.
Okay.
No, so,
Approval of agenda. As presented. Any motion, or anything
nothing new.
added or anything from anybody?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay, then motion by Tom, there,
I'll second it.
second by Kennedy. Approve the agenda for September 18th, 2024. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Public comments and delegations, do we have anybody?
Nope.
Okay, report.
Thank you, Chair Barrett. If I could, I sent you my superintendent report a few days ago, but if I could highlight a couple items and repeat them a little bit. I wanted to remind you again that we have these 2 new electric school buses. That was item 4 in my report earlier. And it's at 10:30 in the morning. It was originally set for 1:30. We moved it up to 10:30. It'll be over at the elementary school now at the bus garage. So that's changed too, just so you know. 10:30, a week from this coming Friday, last Friday in September. We are hoping to get some dignitaries there. We've asked Chairman Siki to speak. I'll have a few words. We'll see if any other state dignitaries show up. But I would like to invite you to come to that too, to celebrate what we're doing to try to keep our air and land clean and to protect the environment in Red Lake for the next 7 generations and more. Does anybody know offhand right now if you're able to be there? And I can put it down. So,
I won't make it time.
okay. Thank you. Chris can be there. Anybody else? Tom? Thank you. You.
I'll be there.
You. Anybody else? And you can show up even if you haven't told me, you know, I don't have to.
Chairman Barrett's gonna make a speech. I'll be there.
He was going to sing and do the prayer.
In Ojibwe.
Yes. I didn't
Always
catch, were you coming?
You should know it by now.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
okay.
Right after Harrison Walls is big.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so at least 4, but, and if you can't make it, no worries. If you do want to show up, you don't need to let me know in advance, but we'll plan for at least hopefully 4 of you.
You have donuts and coffee or what?
There will be, something along those lines, a treat or a snack, yeah, some refreshments, exactly. And we're scrambling to try to get the registration done. They sent the registration to the wrong place. So we were hoping that the buses would be fully licensed and we can go on a joyride, but we getting close now. So hopefully it will be ready to go. Otherwise, we're stuck sitting on the bus driving around the parking lot, which still might work.
Did we get 6 of them or what? How many did we get?
2.
2?
Got 2 of them, and hopefully down the road we can get a few more, but we're gonna test these out first. Then, item 5, I want to just mention again too, because I'd like to give credit to and thank our culturists and our Ojibwe language and culture teachers, Dr. Gnu and his team. They're off to a good start. They're doing good work for us. Dr. Gnu had set up a number of workshops during the summer to help teachers develop scope and sequence and work on their curriculum. And this was a great opportunity for all of our language teachers. While some attended, most of them, others did not. They had maybe summer conflicts and schedules, but it was available for them. And we're going to continue to offer this for them to learn and grow with classroom pedagogical techniques and curriculum work. They've been meeting with Dr. Gnu about some needs they have, such as more professional development opportunities, more curriculum, and so on. Since the state has cut back on what kinds of funding can be used for various needs, they've cut back on travel budget items and other things that we have been able to use before. Dr. Gnu and I will continue to explore new ways to support our teachers with different funding. And Dr. Gnu was able to get grant of $250,000 for the development and sustainability of the language. And that is repeatable for another $250,000 a second year. So a lot of that can be used for a lot of this work. And we're also looking at other funding avenues as well, because this is the point I really want to make. We want to be sure to support these teachers in this very important work, since, as you remember, 2 months ago, we talked about this being one of our highest priorities in our strategic plan, Ojibwe language and culture. So I personally want to thank all of the teachers for their work. I want to thank Dr. Gnu for his leadership. And fortunately, some of these needs that they've asked us for are already in place to some extent. One of the biggest other concerns was time to meet as a team to work on curriculum, to work on lesson plans, to work on the scope and the sequence. And they have Monday mornings, about an hour to meet as a team. And then, of course, they have prep time, their prep time every single day. But what's really important is they have that time to meet as a team Monday mornings, or when we have our November 1st staff development day, but also maybe time on some weekends, or again, next summer to meet. And do we have the funding to cover that? We're going to make sure that we do, because I don't know what's more important as a resource, funding or time, but they're both very important and they go hand in hand. So I want to thank them all for their work, and I want to be sure we support them. So. Then I also want to point out a couple things that weren't on my report that are kind of new. And Chris was good about sharing the Bemidji Pioneer story about our football team going to Nike Town and being able to interact with some pro football players and meet a number of other players from all over the world. What a wonderful opportunity to build camaraderie, team spirit, sportsmanship, and leadership for the next generation. So that's a wonderful opportunity for these kids. So thanks for your part.
I was look at it, be able to go along, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Document it. So yeah, it was, and then, so they got a new sports editor or something.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks, maybe.
New name, I noticed. Yeah.
So maybe we'll get more. I told them reach out, you know what I mean? Because we hardly ever got any
Right.
write-ups in that place, unless it's
Yeah,
This is
the bad news.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to give a reminder too that we have our suicide awareness walk today. So feel free to join us for that right after school. There'll be something to eat and opportunity to meet and support people. It's hot out there, but on another note, just to address real quickly what I mentioned before the meeting to a couple of you, it's not walking around a little bit. It is hot in the buildings, but it's not insufferably hot. I dress according to the weather. And if it's cold out, I wear long sleeves. If it's hot out or in, I wear short sleeves and try to blend in with the weather. We have air moving every night. We try to purge the hot air out and bring in cooler air. We've had a few complaints. One complaint was, why don't you get more air conditioning? Well, it would be upwards of the 30-some million dollars to get air conditioning across the whole district for use maybe 2 weeks out of the year. Is that a responsible use of funding? It feels like it is during those 2 weeks, but for the rest of the year, they would sit idle. So maybe we should look at other ways to deal with the weather, like changing our calendar up a little bit. Somebody had said, why don't you spend ESSER dollars? You got all these ESSER dollars. Well, we got $8 million in ESSER. Most of that was supposed to be used only for academics and for behaviors and closing the gap, not for air conditioning, but if we could use it all, it's only $8 million. Going towards a $35 million bill, wouldn't go very far. Someone else suggested to Chris, we cancel the football program, doesn't win games, so. Yeah, that's what they said. Well, that would be a drop in the bucket, you know, and I see the football game, whether they win a game or not, as being winners. Like Nolan says all the time, they're winning at life, developing leaders, so. That's some of the talk, but you know, I understand that it's, people are frustrated with how hot it is, but we're doing our best and,
At the end of summer, the school does a marketing campaign to let parents and students know what to have ready for school, your
Mhm.
backpack, your pencils, et cetera. So just, you know, next summer, an extension of our, you know, of marketing.
yeah,
Here's how to properly dress for the first few weeks of school because it is still kind of warm up.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we have that graphic I sent it with you that there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing.
Mhm.
For the occasion's bad, if you're wearing heavy wool outfits, you know.
It was a good visual,
Yep.
you know, right there, okay. Perfect for our community and also maybe consider putting in windows on the ceiling, you know,
Yeah.
because safety, we can't have windows open.
Yep.
But if we add in a few windows on the ceiling, that will increase airflow.
Exactly.
I saw
Good
that,
point.
image and it's hard to see any kid nowadays wearing long johns in the winter time. Kids be going to school with shorts and Crocs in the winter time.
Yeah.
Yep, good point. Yep. No wonder they're uncomfortable.
Sweaters in the summer and.
That's right.
Crocs in the
I'm
winter.
teasing the kids a little bit, say, are you wearing that black hoodie? Are you cold?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine, but it's fashionable. That's what they want. All right. Then we have two other reports I'll just jump right into. The first one is the business manager's financial report. And for that one, I would refer you to page 4. And mostly it's just to take a look at the fact that our starting balance is around 29.5 million and change. And our ending balance, 25.4 million in change. Nothing to worry about. We ebb and flow. The cash flows in, cash flows out. But we're still looking very, very strong with our fund balances. Then I wanted to refer you over to our water report, which is on page 51. Drinking water report is a requirement that we do every 5 years. So what we do is we take 20%, 1/5, and test them every year. So we rotate. And so every year we take a look at 1/5 or 20% of our water. We test for lead and arsenic, and no contaminants were detected at levels that violated federal drinking water standards in any of our potable drinking water samples. We had 4 samples from Panema taken. They were all under the 5 allowable level for lead and 10 for arsenic. Took 10 samples at the elementary and 20 at the secondary, and they were all under according to the tables that you see there. So pass the test, and we'll do it again next year and give you a report. So that wraps up the report section.
And with that water's crazy looking now.
Yeah,
Yes,
milk, yeah,
somebody asked today, did they put soap in the water supply?
yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need
We
to.
need a whole new piping system It's
Really?
from the 40s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we
Wow.
need to get on that.
Yep, again, more votes for more funding, right?
Yes, we need to vote.
Hmm. Yep.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Any additions or anything to that? Anybody?
Nope, none from the district.
Motion to approve.
Um,
We have some new staff from other climates who are saying it's not hot right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Interesting, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
as
perspective.
opposed to them, they're saying this is no good deal.
Yeah, they're like, it's kind of cold in here, you know.
Well, maybe we should say to them, it's not cold, but it's still.
I've been to Florida and it's been 90 degrees, 80 degrees, and people are in sweaters, jackets.
It's all relative.
It's cold. 80 degrees was cold, but when I was down there in
Yeah.
January,
Jamaica, it's 100 degrees, it's muggy out, and guys walk around in suits. You know, just used to the climate.
Yeah.
For the 21st of August. Is what we're looking at now? That consent agenda? Yeah. For September 18th. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, on this one here for the 21st of August, I'd like to rescind my trip to California.
Oh, okay,
Too busy.
alrighty,
Me too. I
Is that on
went
here?
through this.
okay.
My reading got really bad with that.
What number is that?
Becky Ojibwe.
That would be in a minute, sorry.
NIA.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, and
National Education.
we got Sherry here, who can take note of that, so thank you.
So could another board member go in their place? Because those are important to be.
Well, we have a lot of the staff going, right?
Mm-hmm, yep. And it actually is more for staff, most of these things, the people
Okay.
who actually do the work.
Is this
On
some of
that
our
particular-
OLC staff
Exactly.
is going?
Okay.
Are you going?
Uh,
Or you have staff going?
well, I don't have funds for it. I only had enough funds to send, two kids, two teachers out.
And they're different budgetary sources, but
So we have two
Two
staff members going to that, no board members?
from Maine, West Jordan.
So would another teacher be able to go then in lieu of a board member?
not using the board
Okay,
budget, but we can
Okay.
still explore. There's time.
How about, Baki and Susan being right there ahead of that?
And the curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
we could check with them to see, yeah.
Would there be money for them to go?
well, I would want to have like a Ojibwe teacher go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Someone who's been studying the language.
and we would still have to use Gnu's funding, which he's out of.
I was just thinking maybe it might help them with.
Right.
So budget wise, is it better to just
I think it's,
settle with the absence,
Getting
not replace them?
understanding.
I think so, maybe
Yeah.
just
I
send
think
the
you're not
two.
supposed to mix them,
Then they
Those
have two
two can come back
representing.
and train the others, yeah.
and mix the money.
Yep.
Word travel,
Yeah,
Okay.
word number 4.
yeah. I didn't hear, did we have a motion yet or not?
I'll move
Okay. I just-
with that edit, yeah.
Second,
Second by Tom to approve the consent agenda. December 18th, 2024. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I
Well, we don't need a
think so,
closed session.
but I know it's like a complete one, not
Action
the
item.
addition.
Okay, thank you, Chair Barrett.
Yeah.
First one is to approve the 2.966 expenditures, bills and wires for the month of August. As presented, just need a second to the motion. Motion second.
I'll motion to approve.
And Cole,
Second.
second by Tina, to approve list of bills, wires, and then on the 2.9 million. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 7-0. Okay, certified proposed 2024 pay 2025 property tax levy at maximum.
And for this, I would refer you to page 178. That's where it starts, but I would really like to refer you more to page 208, so 30 pages into the document. This is a document with a lot of numbers and a lot of categories, but it boils down to what you'll see on Board Book 08, which is the 31st out of 39 pages in this particular levy spreadsheet document. And what I'd like to refer you to is the bottom of the page, the bottom set of numbers, a total levy. Unlike most districts that have a lot of taxpayers, and we have about 10 or 11, we only can levy $288,000 and change in taxable revenue. What we always recommend, every district I've worked in, the business manager and the superintendent has always recommended that when we set the levy, we set it for maximum, because we can always back off in December when we do the truth and taxation meeting. But if we don't do maximum, and let's say we just did 70%, We cannot increase it in December. So let's go with the maximum. And on this page, the maximum would be that number on the far right, $23,700. That we actually would be levying and posting as proposed. More than likely, we will only need to spend or to take in the number that's in the middle. $6,998.66. Because that's all we really need, and that doesn't then raise taxes too much for those 10 or 11 taxpayers. But for now, what we want to do is certify the proposed 24-25 levy at maximum, like we usually do. So I present that to you today for a motion.
Make a motion.
Yeah.
Raising taxes on yourself? Or- Hey, Ralph, you raising taxes on
I'm
yourself?
raising taxes on myself.
I'll second then.
Who second that?
Jack.
Jack or Chris?
Chris. Oh, there it is.
Who did?
Raising taxes.
Jack?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, whoever.
Further discussion on the levy? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I don't know. Miscellaneous, second of three readings to adopt policy 507.5 school resource officer.
Yeah, and I had neglected to mention this in my summary, but this is the last thing we need to do officially as part of the agenda. And it's something that we looked at last month, and it's the second reading, it takes no action. Just a reminder that it's a policy that the School Boards Association requires in dealing with updating that particular policy. So we'll have it next month for third reading and an actual action item. So if you haven't yet, be sure to take a look at it between now and the next board meeting. And then the other thing under miscellaneous, if I can pass our good old books around again, so that we can take a look at item 3 in our strategic plan. Thank you. This is on activities and clubs. And it's something that we should celebrate, I think. It's on page 19. Starts there, nice picture of Nolan. Coach and AD extraordinaire. Extracurricular activities and programs. And I like the quote there. What these students are accomplishing is preparing them for life after school. So our current status that we took a look at and assessed last year going into this year is that the Red Lake School District provides a variety of options for students to get involved. Currently, there are 85 students, there were at the time of this writing, participating in athletic programs within the district. Red Lake School District athletic policy is set higher than any other district in the state, requiring C- or better in all their classes, along with 80% attendance in order to play. These requirements have increased the accountability for student athletes in the district, representing an opportunity for growing the district's cultural programs with the creation of Drum and Dance Club or Ojibwe Knowledge Bowl as potential areas for expansion. Now, we always look at our strengths to celebrate and our challenges to aspire to improve. Our strengths are 4 bullets. Wearing a Red Lake jersey equals warrior pride. The jersey of Red Lake equals warrior pride. Funding from the district is sufficient for activities. We have a strong relationship between the school district and our activities in the tribal council. I had a nice visit with Chairman Siki on Monday, and he was joking around a little bit and said, yes, I'd be happy to come to the ribbon cutting at the bus ceremony, but I'm going to joke around a little bit. And he said, I'm going to say that my friend, the superintendent, is plugging in his electric car at the college and then walking all the way to the school, which I did all of last year. And I informed him that now we have chargers here. But I said to him, Chairman, if you can say whatever you want about me as long as you start the way you did, my friend. And he looked at me and said, I consider you a friend. And that to me was a great honor for him to say that. I'm very proud of the fact that we have a good relationship with the tribe and the tribal council. So, and we have community support, wonderful community support for our activities and for our schools, from parents, grandparents, aunts, aunties, uncles, family members. Some of the challenges: to increase the number of student athletes for larger team sports like football. And we have some limited youth programs available for students at a young age that we should explore growing to some degree. So from those strengths and challenges, we came up with 4 goals. The first one is to increase student involvement in extracurricular activities. The second one is to decrease the number of students who need to attend homework help after school. Then to increase the number of youth programs available in the community. We're working on that. And to expand the extracurricular offerings. Now, if you turn the page to page 20, what are some recommended strategies to do these and to reach these goals? You can kind of maybe skip over that first paragraph, but take a look at the bulletin items. To maybe take a look at adding more to a drumming club, maybe bring in a lacrosse team or club, to do more with dancing and beadwork. To increase the opportunities for physical activity with programs such as Walk and Bike to School Day, a morning walking club, the walk bike fun curriculum, teach kids about safe walking and bicycling. To increase elementary club sports opportunities, kind of a feeder program to keep kids engaged in school. Then on the top right there, bullets continue. Youth athletic feeder programs, which I just mentioned, which start at the elementary. Teacher and coach communication, to continue using Synergy as a tool to ensure students are maintaining grades. Yellow and red students report to homework help to get caught up, so they are getting the support they need. And then training opportunities, coaching clinics and trainings, preferring virtual or on-site, either way. They're both good. Benchmarks and evaluation. How do we benchmark? How do we measure our success in our attempt to do better? One way is to increase the number of students involved in our school activities. If we see an increase, we know we're doing well. It's a good objective sign. To increase the number of cultural programs offered through the district, and to reduce those numbers of students needing homework help. And if we see a reduction, we know we're doing our job. Evaluating, well, grade checks for student athletes through Synergy, reporting to Nolan how many students need help. Number of students in culture focus clubs. If we can increase the number, we can say that we are doing well. And an annual survey, it's actually biannual. It's every 2 years we do a survey to gauge student interest in new clubs, and it's this year that we'll be putting out that survey again. So if Josh had shown up to talk about jujitsu today, I would have suggested that we make sure, here we go, a little earlier than I thought. I would have suggested that we do that, see how many kids want to do that through the survey. We better go for it outside.
One minute to get out the building. We're fine.
Exciting.
Room 1, how's it going?
Hey guys, I've been in the board meeting. I have a little bit time to talk now. Been trying to listen in. I'm sorry I wasn't fully participating. Just wanted to share.
You guys? This is fine, two of your response.
So does the concept of an MOU make sense? Do you guys have an idea of
What time they playing tonight? 7:30?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if we even, well, there'd be a game because of the rain on.
About the co-ed, you done yet or tomorrow night?
Geez, I'm kind of bummed out about that. They went ahead and had the game last night without us being there.
So it's all done then?
So they're the winners.
Ratty.
They should have waited. They should have had it Thursday when we're all regular.
Yeah, when
time.
everybody ain't busy, you know?
Yeah, geez, the volleyball, football, everyone was busy. We didn't get done till after 9.
Yeah.
And they were already announced their winner. So that was,
Yeah.
I guess we just got accepted, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to win that trophy for little Gerald, you know, just for his collection. So I think we should still get a chance. You know,
Oh,
so all we have left to do is adjourn, huh?
yeah, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Now, is he done, are you done here? He's done the project.
Oh, yeah, we're still going over that.
He's almost done.
Almost.
Jerry.
That big of an agenda, you know.
No.
Yeah, I just wanna share, Nike called and they go, hey, Nolan, we noticed you guys lost 2 games. Is there anything else we could do?
Really?
Tell them we need another trip.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of improvement. I mean,
there is,
I see the improvement.
look at all the middle school boys.
And
out
they're
there.
all young.
They're all young.
They're all young.
You should see them in the weight room, like, they really love, like, they love going in there as a group. And
Yeah.
you see a change happening, you know, they like being together as a team. And so I was bummed to hear someone said, cancel football. I was like, hey, these
I
young
mean,
men.
yeah, somebody said that to you. Look at it, went all the way to Oregon, did all this, blah, blah, blah. I still didn't went, wow, I said, these are, I said, and I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
When I go, it's again Friday, yeah.
Mhm.
And I see improving, I see those young guys trying to be that out there, you know?
I just tell them when I played wake up basketball, Lottie was
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah,
Volleyball, football.
Volleyball too, the girls didn't do too good last night.
Oh.
You know, they're young, they're
Right.
moving, you know?
But that's where this parent support group, that will really help us with our youth and how they are in teams in school. We get the parents on board. So I like that.
There are a lot of parents, even a junior high game last night.
Did you see all the parents there? And they really love the concessions, so that's another plus they love it.
Oh, yeah, did they have concessions there?
Well, we're short workers, but I found some secretaries at the elementary will do it, so.
That's usually Andy too, Andy and Willie are over there.
Well, Andy's the only one willing to work, so we need to find some more staff that will step up and then we can.
There last night at the volleyball game.
Yep, $1,000. So if we have the.
That's what they made.
Yes, we'll make more over here. Plus, when we travel, we're hungry, you know, as parents and family, we wanna eat, so that's why that's important to us, as have that a bit.
Well, nice job, everybody. You all made it out. I sent you 3 pictures. I don't know if they'll be any
Oh,
good.
good, yeah, yeah.
But I texted them to you and, I saw a great improvement in this fire drill. It was great. All the kids went where they were supposed to. The first time they stayed a little too close, so we reviewed it.
Pretty orderly.
Very, yep, it was good.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sticking around, participating. A little earlier than I thought. I thought it was gonna be closer to 2. It's a 1:45, but that's good. Anyway, what I was saying was, whenever there's an interest in starting a new club, we bring it to the students with a survey to see,
Funny.
is there enough interest in something like jujitsu? We would support it if,
Or cross-country skiing,
yep.
You know,
So that'll be part of it.
attendance on
Yeah.
there.
So there will be a survey that will ask the kids about all these current activities. Are you liking these? Do you want to keep doing these? If you would have a choice of doing something new, what would you like to add? Jujitsu, would you be interested in that or?
Is that a high school sport? That's like
That's the way I,
karate or what? Or just grabbing you and throwing you down or what?
I'm not sure. Yeah, because I was
Pretty
hoping,
much, Rob.
I was hoping to learn that.
Come on, Chris. Demonstrate it.
It's kind of like UFC.
Can you take your head and bang this table? Yeah. That's karate though, isn't it? Karate.
It's like UFC.
There's a lot of cultural teaching behind jujitsu too, and where the cultures and society that comes from, and how it's all about discipline.
Yeah.
You know, so it does intertwine teachings of the mind and how to stay disciplined and utilize, you know, bringing mind and body together to be good at jujitsu. But you could apply the teachings of jujitsu to anything you do in life.
Yep.
There's a little bit I've done. It's what I've gathered from it.
Yeah, I was hoping it's here too, because I don't know what he was asking of us, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I think they're already doing this in the community. They
Yeah.
have a jujitsu program somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think,
Open and go out.
at this one over here, the old building.
Oh, you?
So I wasn't sure what he was gonna ask, but, cross country ski,
He's the same individual.
cross country, the sport, running
Oh, yeah.
would be a good, I think
Yes,
that would
it
be
would.
good.
I think we have a lot of kids who.
Traditionally, you know what I mean? Running is something that our people did, and we're good at, you know, long distance running.
Did we ever have cross country in school?
I don't ever remember. They may have tried it, like when I was, because I only went to school there 2 years in high school, but.
What?
In the nineties, we had constant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah, it
kicked
was-
them out after 2 years.
Then I got kicked out of Minneapolis and kicked me back in here. Yeah.
So now look at where he's at.
It's not.
Anyway, so some of the projects that we have, this is something else I'm really happy with, proud of. One of them was to get a crow's nest for the football field. Well, we have it within a year after this, you know, it's in place. A digital scoreboard for the gym, still in the works. And then the weight room improvements and equipment, which fortunately almost fell into our laps and we all only had to embrace it. And to be grateful to the Phelan Foundation. And it's being used a lot now. I'm very happy with that. The fact that I walked into there yesterday, at the end of the day, the football team was in there. We're all working, Rob, and lifting weights, and so it's a good thing to see it get used. And to be, cross-utilized for physical education as well as sports and staff wellness. It's used by a lot of people. Good thing to have. So it's a program that I think we need to celebrate and continue to grow. Next month, we'll take a look at our infrastructure, this next page.
And that's the hot topic and right now, the
Right now,
infrastructure.
right. Point, well,
No pun intended.
and with that, I rest my case.
There you go, Sheila, you take.
Okay, anything else? Anybody? If not, we'll need a motion to.
One thing, under
too late.
miscellaneous, would we have to discuss as a board, like say, like if a current board member gets mileage to bring their student to school? Will that have to be brought up for discussion or do we just allow it to happen?
I believe we allow it to happen because it's not being done in the role of a board member. It's being done in the role of a family member who, in cases where we find it difficult to pick up or where that family member helps the district by providing transportation, we can actually allow that.
And then another thing is the location. Is there another school district that is closer for them that can bus them? Or do we have to
You
do,
mean bus them to that district?
yeah, or do we just have to pay the board member the?
We,
If you're not paying the board member, you're paying, it's much better half.
Yep.
And there is a school out there in Goodrich that was, very racist and prejudiced towards my grandkids out there. So that was the reason why we transferred to Red Lake. And I don't see why this is being brought up again. It was, mentioned before that, Grady I'll send a bus out there and I can do all the work that I need to do instead of having to run over here to drop her off at school. Pick her up.
We see it as, we're actually not paying you either, we're reimbursing you for your mileage and your time and helping the district
On
out.
the vehicle.
And,
I don't think this is a viable question here. It just goes back to what's been going on for quite a while here.
I just think it, you know, cause it should be brought up in for discussion because it is a lot of, dollars.
It was brought up here. Right? Originally it was brought up here and it was approved here.
and it actually would,
Yeah, mileage law.
Yeah, last school year it was approved.
Was
and
it?
I,
Yeah.
Oh, were you here?
I motioned to approve it, yes.
So now you wanna,
Yeah, but we're in a new school year.
I'll mention it to Willie to see if it needs to be done again, but in the past, we've been able to do these things. I've done it before in districts because it is actually more expensive. It's send a bus all the way out to pick up.
Yeah, it is.
We're saving us money actually, and we're reimbursing for the mileage and time. But I will check with Willie on that, make sure we're being fully transparent and following.
And on that,
Thank you.
and on that mileage, I've only collected half of it, so it wasn't as though. I had my pockets full, giving me everything. So maybe I will turn that in before all of this gets kibosh put on it, and we start sending out a bus to pick up my junior that's in school.
Is there any other students on that road that gets a ride to, or do we just do?
I don't know the answer to that. I can look into that, see if there are any other schools anywhere actually.
In that, you know, for a bus? Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
You want a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Tina,
And I'll second.
second by Nicole to adjourn. At 5. All those in favor say aye.
right?
Aye, opposed. I don't know. Good night, I can give you.
Thank you to everybody joining the board meeting from Teams. Big Wabba.